stream will begin shortly after. Alon, Bob, Fred, Robert, how are you? Can you guys see my screen? Good afternoon, Vlad. All right. Hopefully everybody's staying safe. Bob, Fred, I know you guys in Florida. But make sure that you guys are shelter in place for the hurricane. But welcome on GoToWebinar. Let's start. Welcome to Tradespoon in Yellowtown. My name is Vlad Karpel. I'm CEO and founder of both companies. And today we're going to have a live trading room open to trade stock and options using our technology. For those of you who are new, welcome. If this is your first live event, do me a favor, type in first. For those of you on YouTube, welcome. One of the main difference between Tradespoon, Yellowtown, and maybe some of the other services that you are used to is that we have technology. We're building AI technology based on the latest advances in AI, neural networks, artificial intelligence, modeling to find signals in the market, short-term and long-term signals, and we have actually used them to trade in a live trading room environment as well. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. Trading stock and options involve risk, not suitable for everyone. You must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept it in order to invest in current market conditions. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not registered with FINRA or SEC. I'm showing you what I do in my own account based on my own risk tolerance level for general education information purposes only. Please consult your financial advisor prior to making any trading decisions. All right, let's take a look at the market. We are market quietly making new highs. Everybody's waiting for the CPI data, which will come tomorrow. We have several Fed speakers. We have FOMC meeting minutes today. Regional Fed speakers talking about the interest rates and state of economy. Tomorrow, we have core CPI data, which usually can cause volatility depending if it comes in worse than expected or better than expected. Inflation has been trending down, so expectation that it's kind of long-term, the trend is down, and I think that's the expected. Obviously, if it's drops a lot compared to the recent trends or will be higher significantly, then market could react accordingly. And then we have Delta Airline announcing earnings tomorrow. That's kind of the start of earnings season. But more importantly, it's the start of the So Delta, I'm not sure why it's taking time, but Delta Airline announcing earnings on tomorrow, Thursday, and then Friday we have banks announcing earnings. So Delta Airline, and then Friday we have JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Progressive, BlackRock Group, Bank of Mellon, Fastenal announcing earnings. So those are the main events that can move the market short term. In terms of price action, let's look at the spiders. Spiders continues to make new all-time highs. Like we briefly broke above previous high 575. We're staying at 576. Up 0.5%. QQQ continues to recover, close to all-time high, still lagging the spiders, but close to all-time high. And value stocks are maybe marginal new highs, but still trading in this range bound. Small caps still underperforming. They're close to the 50-day moving average. Let's see, where's VIX? VIX still elevated over VIXen. I mean, it's pulled back from 23 level, but people are still hedging their position going into the earnings. We have elections in a month, and then potential escalation in Middle East. What else? Interesting. China, right? I mean, partly it's the gamma squeeze, right? It's just a technical price action because of the so many people are buying these out of the money calls, and at this point, any negative news and market could have elevator up, elevator down. So very large volume, elevator down. Probably we're talking about multi-weeks, if not multi-months consolidation. I would be a buyer into pullbacks, but I would wait. Does it stop at 32 or does it stop at 30 or 28? That's hard to tell. If you look at the gamma, let's review the gamma for spiders first. Now 580. So you have a significant gamma, not significant, but some gamma at 580. So it needs to clear that way. After that, there is really not much. It's an open field. So 585 and 575 was the gamma before that. So we still have pretty large position at 580. We have a large position at 572 and then 560. So those are your key support and resistance levels, short term, right? So 560, that's a bit longer term. Short term, we had 570, 572. Support and overhead resistance for now is 580. There's really not much positioning outside that. But for now, it needs to clear 580. Otherwise, it will potentially get rejected and move back to 572 level, 570, 572 level. That's Spider's position, FXI. We'll also look at the expected move. So we got close to 40, right? 38, 39, 40 got rejected on negative news. Now we're trading at 32. Again, not a lot of positioning. So that's why the gamma squeeze is usually pretty dangerous because you don't have a lot of people buying puts. Most of the activity was concentrated on these out of the money calls. So now it just, price discovery, where it's going to stop. But, there's not much support. There's some support at 30, 32 level, but then it's, so I would be careful with China until it finds some kind of a stability. Bitcoin continues to underperform close to 200-day moving average. So there's some signs of concern, right? Going into the elections in October, but nonetheless, we still have broadening of the participation. Value stocks are at all-time high, marginal new highs, spiders, new marginal highs, and QQQ is doing a catch-up trade. So those are key support and resistance levels and market conditions. Any questions? Buying lithium company, ALTM. Yeah, so materials, China, silver, lithium, definitely. This is a lot of price action, up 30%, 27 million shares. So this is definitely another, but this is acquisition, right? So thank you, Bob, for sharing. Ukraine, the drop down here, or Ukraine just in general, Robert? What do you mean? And this is my watch list. I called it Ukraine because it just shows me state of economy and global kind of, it has everything. Gas, China, I look at the Europe, Europe pulled back significantly to 50-day moving average. Germany pulled back. All right. Any questions? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is, I was born in Ukraine, so this is just kind of awareness that, people are still suffering and the war is still ongoing in Ukraine. But this is just a drop down, of different watch lists that I have. All right, so let's review the positions and see if we want to make any adjustments to them. All right, so one is Delta Airlines. So we do have earnings tomorrow, Delta Airline. In the past, it's been volatile, right? Delta Airline been volatile up to 10% move. If you look at the positioning going into the earnings tomorrow, you do have relatively high open interest at 55 strike, right? Relatively high open interest at 55 strike. And we can actually see that also. Let's look at Tradia Pro. So basically implying 6% move. This is Delta Airline implying 4 to 6% move. So that's the large position at 55 strike. 55 on the downside, you do have 46. Yeah, so 55 is on the upside, higher positioning, and then 46 you have on the downside. So I already have a position for the Delta Airline got filled. I mean, sorry, eBay. Oh no, this is open order. This is open order. It got filled. So I have 53, 55, 57 call spread. With the idea that if there's a positive, we got already to 52, that we can revisit the 55 level on Delta Airline. That's if there's a positive surprise. If there's a negative surprise, you have 46 position, so close to the 200-day moving average. So let's put that butterfly on. The call spread didn't really move. It was up earlier, but it gave up most of the gains from today. So let's do Delta Airline, vertical. Let's see, 46 strike is pretty well positioned. 46. We'll do $2 spread. Let's see, 40, 46. So middle strike 46. I'm trading at 14 cents. So let's structure the trade to here. So butterfly, I do have long call butterfly if I'm gonna do long put butterfly. That expires tomorrow. Second leg, I want to see 46 strike. Three. 45. Sorry about that. Leg 2. 46. Long put butterfly. Okay. So 46, 44. 46 put trades at 13 cents. 44 at 4. 48 at 45 cents. So I'm risking 23 cents, maximum profit $1.70, right? These asymmetrical returns and 16% probability of profit, 16% probability of profit, 7, 8 to 1 payout. And again, it has to be either negative earnings where it drops to this level, right? The middle left, at least gets to 48, 46 level, or very positive news where it gets to the middle strike of 55, right? 53 strike. All right, so, okay. So buy to open 1, limit of 20. So I'm going to put 48, 46, 44 put. Trades at 21 cents right now. Yeah, this is a cheap way to participate in the trade without committing a lot of capital. Low probability event, low probability strategy, but high payouts. Rather as a, move to the upside. Okay. So since I don't have a strong opinion, airlines have actually rebounded strongly, and there's definitely demand for the traveling. But we've seen airlines, especially with gas prices, have been volatile. So in this case, I'm putting 2 butterflies, 355, 57. Put butterflies and see if it's gonna make directional move. Any questions on Delta Airline? Alon, Bob, Fred, Robert. No, usually gamma is, so the question is, the highest strike is at 50. The stock is trading at 50. So by definition, the largest gamma, right? The most sensitive gamma, the largest gamma is at 50 strike. Right, and you can see it kind of here. Every time the stock is trading, this is where you have the largest gamma, right? That doesn't imply that it's going to stop there, right? That does not apply there. It doesn't imply small, but any stocks you're going to look at the strike, you will see large concentration of gamma, right? Because it's very sensitive to the move of delta compared to the stock price at the money, right? This is the highest sensitivity. And then here, if you have high open interest concentration, then that's where the gamma exposure is, right? It's not just it's not just at the money gamma, but it's also concentration of open interest times gamma. And that's why we have this open interest. This is purely open interest level. Fred, thank you. All right, any other questions on Delta Airline? Okay. JP Morgan is actually rebounding as well. The earnings is Friday. There could be a follow through tomorrow into the earnings. And it is oversold. So we kind of can at least do the call as well. So expected move is 3%. Three to 4% expected move, so 221. In terms of high open interest, is highest one is 225. So 225. But it is spread out pretty evenly. Right? So you have 225 all the way to 235. But 225 is the highest. But then there is some positioning here as well, right? You have 225, but then you have 230, 240, and so on and so forth. So it is also distributed. If you want to look at the butterfly, kind of directional move if the earnings are going to be good for JP Morgan. Middle strike. So what do we see? Highest concentration 20 to 20. 20 or 225. Let's see. I think the 20 was pretty cheap, pretty expensive, so we might have to go further out. Yeah, it's 50 basis points, probably 225. Well, 225 is 5 cents. Well, that doesn't make sense. 20 dollar rate, okay. 22. So 220 is $1.12 and 225 is 28 cents. So almost want to gravitate to 220. And it gets expensive. I mean, you can do 2.5%, 1%. It's very narrow. I mean, you want to do at least maybe 2%, 215, 220, 225, but you would have to spend $1. So it's a little bit more expensive. Let's see, is there any other strikes? JP Morgan. I don't think there's any strikes. 222.5. Let's see. Maybe 222.5 is better. 217.5 to 22.5. Where's it trading at? 213. And 90 cents. Not that much better. So it looks like 225 is probably. Yeah, that will cost you 64 cents. 220. It has to move 3-4%. So ideally you want to have a middle strike at 220. 22.5. Any questions on JP Morgan? Okay, so let me put butterfly in my account as well. Butterfly 44, 46. right, and then JP Morgan. Can start. It's a middle strike. Let's do 22.5. 215. 230. 17.5. That's fine. 227. 88. All right, and if you don't think that JP Morgan is gonna move 3 or 4% to the downside, I mean, you do have these strikes, 200. Right, we talked about 50-day moving average around 200, 195. You can sell the spread. So let's see, about 200. Probably not enough. $0.20, that's 20. So 202. 2.5 to 197. So if you don't think it's gonna, drop below this reactionary low, right, in September, kind of near 200-day moving average, then one way to do this is credit put spread, right? You can do verticals for Delta Airline. You can do bullish put spread, expires in October, and sell. What did I sell? 2.5. Basically, here the profit. If you do 202.5 and 207.5, $5 spread, then your profit is 80 cents, and you're risking $4.18, right? If it drops to 202, if it does drop to 202, then and stays there, then potentially you're exposing yourself to large loss. but probability is 75% probability. I mean 78% probability of profit. So 8 out of 10 times, if you sell to 2.5, 2 or 7.5 put spread, will be a profitable trade. So that's kind of a, somebody asked about high probability versus high return, right? You can't have high probability and high return. So you either have a high probability of success, but then, your risk versus reward, 5 to 1. Right? Against you, right? Against you. If you want the opposite, then you do butterfly. Any questions on JP Morgan and Delta Airline? All right, let's review the other positions, see if you want to make any adjustments. So we talked about Delta Airline. I did get into eBay. Again, it was a signal, long signal on eBay. Continues to trade higher. It did pull back today, but it has been a signal for several weeks. So I'm long eBay. EOG on China, less than expected stimulus. Energy did pull back significantly. It looks like EOG is trying to find the bottom, but it's facing overhead resistance at 136. It's a November call spread, so I have time. EWT, trying to break out 54.37. I'm bullish, right? This was another long signal. See if they can close the gap. But I have EWT position. I have LA Lilly position trading. EWT, Taiwan, trending higher. There was a long signal. LA Lilly continues to recover, staying above 50-day moving average. That's positive going into the earnings. And then what else do we have? Meta has been one of the stronger Magnificent Seven stocks, trading close to all-time high. I'm bullish on Meta. Triple M. And then regional financials. I don't know how I feel. Trading at $1.40. Where did I buy that? I bought it at $1.40. So it's kind of not going anywhere, regional financial. It's a spread, so I might have to either close and break even or wait and see what the earnings look like for the regional banks. I mean, the yield curve is normalizing, so it should be beneficial for the banks. Triple M consolidating, right? Kind of just still staying above 50-day moving average. I think it's a pretty bullish price pattern. Some long Triple M. SH, have small position in SH. SH continues, it's a hedge that continues to pull back, inverse ETF. And then finally is silver. Silver looks like better China, right? Kind of very highly correlated. It's strong pullback. It looks like it's consolidating around 50-day moving average. Small position, maybe start thinking about adding silver, not making new lows. Around 27, I think, is a good entry point, and then maybe 26. But it's been a pattern of higher highs, higher lows on silver. So those are the positions. Any questions? Honeywell jumping on Qualcomm agreement. Yep. Thank you. Up 3%. Thank you. How's Qualcomm doing? Also up 2%. Very good. BSX doing well. That was a good signal. Wow, very nice, Bob. So really we're pulling back. That VTV continues. I mean, VTV is not just safety asset classes, right? It has a lot of low beta stocks. There's like 2,000 stocks. So safety, like utilities, is a small percentage of them. So you pulling back, we had XLP pulling back, but the banks rallying, industrials rallying, materials today or recently rallied. So you do have a strong recovery. Any other questions? VTV not good hedge. I mean, it's actually trying to break out. I mean, one thing that's consolidating, I mean, been underperforming is QQQ, but you can also see it's trying to break out, right? So NVIDIA. I mean, you want to kind of wait and see. I mean, as long as we're above 565, I'm not sure if you need a hedge. Right, because it's kind of breaking out, making new highs. If it does drop below 565, then I think it makes sense to hedge. But if you want to hedge just to hedge, I mean, probably QQQs has been the weakest, right? It's still doing a catch-up trade. So if the pullback is going to start, it's probably going to be in QQQ because it's still not at the all-time high. Stay with that way. Rethink that. Okay. Yeah, BTV is just everything. For every low beta, it's a good proxy for low beta. It's a good proxy for the, what is it, RSQ? Equal weighted RSP. You ask equal weighted. Yeah, so RSP, VTV, they look identical. They look identical. So materials looks like they stopped dropping. China looks like, right, it's kind of a lot of it is China play. Home builders consolidating. We talked about China, VIX is at 20. Industrials are making new highs, so XLI continues to grind higher. Junk bonds found supported 50-day moving average, not going lower. That's also bullish for the market. REITs found supported 50-day moving average. Healthcare found supported 50-day moving average. Retail found supported 50-day moving average. Transportation bouncing back close to April highs. Value in general trying to make new highs. XLF is trying to make new highs, breaking out. That's about it. All right, 248. Any questions on the positions? Delta Airline, JP Morgan earnings. Everything coming out with research, large response. Sounds good, Bob. Yeah, lithium is obviously needed for electrical cars, so it's kind of a proxy for the expansion of our economy and the electrical vehicles. I mean, some of these electrical vehicles are not going anywhere, right? Like Rivian. Tesla have rebounded well. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much, and I'll see you at the closing bell. ALB and SQM. ALB. Please no around chemical. Okay. And SQM. Thank you for sharing about SQM. All right, guys, stay safe. If you are in Florida, especially Tampa, Orlando area, stay safe. And hopefully tomorrow it's all going to be gone. Right? Where's the hurricane? Where's it gone? Where'd it go? It's Orlando, Tampa, Fort Myers. Yeah, that's my understanding. So if you're in these areas, this is the time to seek shelter. What time is it supposed to fall? Overnight Wednesday into early Thursday. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully you have a backup generator. All right. Alon, Bob, Fred, Robert, thank you very much, and have a great day. Thank you, guys.